one from Hazelwood. The rest are all from Berkeley.
So I wonder who's going to win this thing.
Somebody from Berkeley, I bet.
Starting from lane 2, then the Berkeley swimmers are Mraz, Murphy, Caslin, Mulder, Becky or Buke, and Nelson.
I'm going to go with Becky. That's my favorite right there. First, Kelly's in lane 1. But this is basically a Berkeley event. 6 to 10, girls IM, as you see.
Little girl from Hazelwood's not doing too badly up there at the top of the screen.
Well, she's almost remembering the Alamo because there's only one of her. Out in front is Caslin with Berkeley, who had a prelim time of 1:20.01. And Mulder 1:21.75 may have an outside chance here.
Record 1:16.70 set by Osborne back in 1987.
It's a beautiful evening for a swim, I'll tell you that. As we take a look and we see Caslin, this girl 6 to 10, IM.
Second place right now is Mulder, obviously swimming from Berkeley, swimming in lane 5.
So I guess if you're the coach at Berkeley, you're basically in the catbird seat.
I have 118 flat on that.
You want me to go through and find out?
Okay, as you see, just a conversation saying, hey, I won it, and I finished close to you, and we're both with Berkeley, so we should feel good about things.
Moving up in age, we go to 11-14, boys intermediate. Lane 1, Hazelwood Kip. Lane 2, Piros from Hazelwood. Lane 3, Johnson from Hazelwood. 4 and 5, both from Berkeley. Lee and Moore. Lane 6 from Hazelwood, Jones. And lane 7, Nichols from Bellefontaine Neighbors.
Lee appears to be the favorite at 1:11.20. Nobody seems to be close, but again, that's what the time says, and the race is coming up.
Ron, your clock is pretty reliable. On the 7-8 girls free relay, the time was 1:14.03, which is a new record.
We've had at least a couple of records already this evening. The record in this event, 57.21, set by Jeff Cummings last year. And just looking at the submitted times, you would not anticipate anybody breaking that record.
We do have finals in event number 7, 13 to 14 boys relay. Berkeley finished first. 1:49.27 was the time. Moore, Krause, James, and Buey. In second place, Ferguson. 1:54.04. Bellefontaine Neighbors and Delwood bring up the rest of the pack.
Right now in lane 6, Jones, swimming for Hazelwood, has a pretty good lead over lane 4. That's Lee from Berkeley.
Again, have finals in the 9 to 10 girls free relay. Berkeley victorious, 1 minute 47 seconds. Caslin, Murphy, Becky, and Mulder. I'm sorry, Dan.
That's all right. I was going to say, it looks like Hazelwood will take this event at the top of the pool in lane 6. That's Jones with a time of 1:07.56 is what we show.
That's quite an improvement over the time that's listed here in the book.
Indeed, he had 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Maybe my clock and my starting finger.
But however,
I don't remember. I think they do swim the IM in prelims.
Now we've got girls intermediate 11 to 14. Johns, Bellefontaine Neighbor will start in lane 1. Caslin in lane 2 from Berkeley. 3 is Liston from Hazelwood. 4 is Ferguson's Innes. 5 is Osborne from Berkeley. 6, Cadell from Hazelwood. 7, Hoffner from Bellefontaine Neighbors.
Spring Innes is swimming for McClure and is a state qualified swimmer. She's a beautiful swimmer.
And she'll be looking to try and catch that record set by Kim Sadler last year of 1:07.29.
Keep your eye on Osborne for Berkeley in lane number 5. She has a record in prelims at 1:10.54.
Sue Innes in the dark suit with the orange swim cap in lane 4.
We have finals in girls 9 to 10 free relay. Berkeley again 1 minute 47 tenth. Caslin, Murphy, Becky, Mulder. Bellefontaine Neighbors second 109.13. Ferguson third 111.15. Delwood and Hazelwood bring up the pack.
Very tight right now in the turn between Innes and Cadell. Cadell in lane 6 swimming for Hazelwood. Let's see if this stroke separates. The backstroke looks like it really favors Sue Innes.
I'll wait until Sue Innes gets to freestyle.
Finals girls 11 to 12 free relay. Berkeley 205.91. Steinberger, Sattler, LeGrand, and Caslin. Ferguson second. Thompson, Wamhoff, Millette, and Garrett 207.90. Bellefontaine Neighbors finished third. Waymeyer, Fuentes, Robertson, Delwood, and Hazelwood.
I don't think Spring Innes has a bad stroke.
I've been calling her Sue.
Your camera people are doing a great job, as they always do, getting some of this stroking.
Let's see if we can get the time.
She makes it look easy, doesn't she?
And I have 106.22, which, if it held up, would be a new record, breaking the old record by almost a whole second. So there's a lot of margin for my movement on the clock.
And again, Spring is qualified for the Nationals, which is a preliminary or prelude to the Olympic trials. So congratulations to her.
And again, we have a special swimmer in this next event. Jeff Cummings coming in with a 56.04 in the boys 15 to 18 intermediate. He'll be swimming in lane 4 for Berkeley. Lane 1, Woods from Ferguson. 2, Schuler from Berkeley. 3, Ferguson is Hoker. Lane 4, as we said, Jeff Cummings. Lane 5, Tobin from Delwood. Lane 6, King from Hazelwood. Lane 7, Sneed from Ferguson.
Look at Cummings reach out with those arms on the butterfly. He set a record in prelims for this. I'm sorry, Jeff. These older kids only swim 1 lap of each stroke. I thought they swam 2, but they don't. They swim 1.
So they're doing the same as youngsters.
Right.
You're pretty high on Jeff Cummings, aren't you?
Well, he has really blitzed this field already. There he is in lane 4, under the yellow pendant, blue swim cap. And now his last leg. That was a little slow on the start of my watch, but let's see what we get on the time here.
That's Tobin from Delaware. Please report to the staging area.
I have 54.47, which would just blow away his preliminary time of 56 seconds. As I said, I was a little bit slow, but again, with 2 seconds to play, I figure we have to have a new meet record.
I think so.
So Jeff Cummings is victorious. We'll keep an eye on him and watch the progression of his swim career.
You want to do the next roster, Tony? I said last year, this is like reading the phone book.
Event number 16, girls 15 to 18 IM. We have Richardson for Berkeley in lane 1 and lane 2. Mahan from Bellefontaine Neighbors in lane 3. Gertler from Delwood. Lane number 4, Lawrence. Hazelwood 5 is Sattler. Berkeley 6 is White. Bellefontaine Neighbors, and 7 is Hazelwood in lane 7 as we are underway.
The record in the event, 105.33. That's set 7 years ago by Ferguson.
As we get a look to see who are some of the early favorites here right now.
Ooh, look at that.
Looks like synchronized swimming.
Doesn't it, though?
It appeared that Sattler had the lead early in the event. Well,
you're a brave man to call that.
It looked like Sattler to me. Of course, I've been wrong before.
Are they up on the platform this year? The cameramen? Because they're getting some great shots of the strokes in the water.
And again, this swim meet's being brought to you by 29A.
That's lane 4.
B, I was wrong.
Lawrence.
That's Lawrence. I thought I seen Sattler with the lead, but Lawrence is victorious.
So a win for Hazelwood there.
So Hazelwood's won for the second time today.
Now we move back to the younger swimmers again. The 6 and under boys freestyle. In lane 1, McDuffie from Delwood. 2, Tobin from Delwood. 3, Brooks from Delwood. Lane 4, Dill from Berkeley. 5 is Hazelwood, Merritt. 6 from Berkeley, Caruso. And 7 from Hazelwood, Guntley.
This is one of my favorite events. These little guys, can you imagine standing up on those blocks at age 6 with all these people, and their stomachs are just churning full of butterflies?
I think I've said this before. I can't imagine it all, because if I hit the water, I'd go straight to the bottom. I sink. I don't swim.
But I guess they have a lot of brothers and sisters who they've seen do this before and who've taught them an awful lot.
I have known some that you had to practically swim alongside of them to get them to go in the water.
Again, being 6 and under is basically a pretty early age, but it's fun to watch them just the same.
These swimmers, sometimes, some of them start at age 4.
Any restrictions in this age group on how many events you can swim in?
This is the only event they have for the 6 and unders. They really have a hard time doing the more advanced strokes.
I guess you really couldn't call a favorite. They're so young, could you?
Well, we'll see.
I'm looking at it.
This is psychological, a lot of it.
Yes. Dill
To
has
these
the
little
time.
guys.
One length of the pool.
So
Right
Jeff
now,
Dill,
3 and 4 with lane 4. Jeff Dill in the lead.
he was favored here, but again, because of the age
I'd
factor
say
and
4
all,
and 3.
so it's between Brooks and Dill. I got Dill winning that for Berkeley.
On the starting block, event 18, 6 and under girls. Freestyle, each swimmer one lap of the pool.
Now we have the girls 6 and under. Same event for the girls. Lane 1, Katkey from Hazelwood. 2, Good from Ferguson. 3, Albanese from Ferguson. See if we can get at their names before they finish. Ritter from Delwood in lane 4. 5, Schaefer from Hazelwood. 6, Wilmisher from Delwood. 7, Ransel from Bellefontaine Neighbors. Did I beat him to the line?
Well, you were close. B. Walker wanted a close-up of this so you could see some of the little ladies as they
And that looks like
compete.
lane 6, Wilmisher. And we're seeing the finish exactly as you are, because we're screened at this end of the pool.
Wilmisher is a name that's kind of familiar to me, Dan Reardon.
I think she has brothers or sisters who've been swimming for a while. That name's familiar to me, too.
Quite athletic name, too, I believe, in basketball.
I think that must be a different family, though. You're thinking of Kim Wilmisher
Yes,
from
I am.
the All-American softball player and basketball player from
Right.
Umsel. I believe that Kim is from out of town.
Okay.
Outstate
Maybe
Missouri.
Oh.
Event 19, 7 and 8
Boys
girls,
7 to 8
on the starting
freestyle.
block.
In order, lane 1, Quigley, Delwood. 2, Pilla, Delwood. 3, Vorster, Ferguson. 4, McDuffie, Delwood. 5, Caruso, Berkeley. 6, Darnell, Ferguson. 7, Jacobsmeyer, Bellefontaine Neighbors.
Keep an eye on Caruso from Berkeley, 1686. McDuffie's the favorite, 1680. This shapes up to be a horse race. Number 19, boys, 7 to 8 freestyle. We're underway.
Well, you
Boy,
call that
very
finish.
close.
We have another record to report. That's in the boys 15 to 18 freestyle relay. The team from Ferguson with a new record of 132.53. That erases the old record by almost a full second. The old record 133.47 set last year. That's Woods, Hoker, Bricky, and Bricky. So they set the record last year. They brought Hoker on board and shattered the record this year.
I think the Brickies may be, one of them may be too old to swim next year. This is what happens. You get these tremendous swimmers and they get too old.
And the event we've got going on is the girls 7 to 8 freestyle. We will not get the names of you before they reach the end of the pool.
Lane 4 is Erin Huntington.
She's from Ferguson.
And she's favorite thus far, and she comes away with the V.
Event 21, 9-10 boys.
I'll say one thing about these officials: when one race is over, they don't really have much memory. They just get the next one on, don't they?
I've seen relays slower than that when they start one. This is 9 to 10 boys freestyle. We've got a moment here as they get on the block, so let's see if we can squeeze these names in. The first three are from Berkeley. Timothy Bravish in lane 1, Cruz in lane 2, Krause in lane 3. In lane 4 from Bellefontaine Neighbors, Nichols in lane 5, Tobin from Delwood, also from Delwood in lane 6, Ritter. And in lane 7 from Delwood, Schreckenghost.
This is interesting because if you look at the middle of it right now, it appears that there's an outsider with a chance to win. And it happens to be Nichols from Bellefontaine Neighbors.
And the girls are up. They're really going now.
They have this down to a science.
Ferguson, Berkeley, Bellefontaine Neighbors, and Ferguson in that order. Berkeley in the middle of the pool. That's Dominguez, Mulder, and Mraz in lanes 3, 4, and 5.
Mulder appears to be the favorite, Dan, but we have to look at Mraz and also Dominicus.
This is the last age group where they swim one lap. The timers will have to go to the other end of the pool at the end of this race because now they'll swim 50 yards.
And that'll be good for us because we'll be able to see who actually wins these events.
So we have event number 23, which is the boys freestyle, 11 to 12.
Timers relocate behind the starting blocks for event 23. Timers relocate behind the starting blocks for event 23.
In lane 1, Ferguson, Sneed. Lane 2, Krause from Berkeley. Lane 3, check that, Trun from Delwood. 4 is Lee from Berkeley. 5 is Matheny from Ferguson. 6 is Piros from Hazelwood. 7, Caruso from Berkeley. The record here, 25:79, set in 1987. And now maybe we can get the watch back into operation when we have a little more time here.
Boy, they come and go really fast.
The North County Swim League has the fastest swim meets that I think I have ever been to. They do not last forever and ever and ever like the USS meets do. USS meets go on all day.
I guess something like having 68 events have a lot to do with it too.
Well, we'll be out of here before 9 o'clock.
Better be, because their cameras will be stretching if it's 9 o'clock.
Sort of like Wrigley Field, there are no lights. Well,
Yes, there are.
well, not enough to light up the pool for a cable cast.
And again, lane 7 at the top of the pool, lane 1 at the bottom of the pool. And when we switch to our end camera, the lane on the left will be lane 1, the lane on the right will be lane 7.
Then this is the boys freestyle, 11 to 12.
Lanes 3 and 4 right now. 4 holding the lead. In lane 4, that's
Lane 3 is going to run out of fuel.
Lee.
That's Lee from Berkeley.
Missed the finish on that on the watch. Right up the girls. Haynes from Delwood, lane 1. Legrand, lane 2 from Berkeley. 3, Garrett from Ferguson. 4 from Berkeley, Osborne. 5 from Bellefontaine Neighbors, Mahan. 6, Fuentes, Bellefontaine Neighbors. And 7, Robertson, Bellefontaine Neighbors.
Bellefontaine Neighbors had quite a few qualifiers in that one.
The record here held by Spring Ennis, 27:07, not competing at this age group anymore. That was set last year. Yeah, I got her name right this time. And once again, lane 4 on the turn. And this looks like a comfortable swim for Osborne from Berkeley. 27:62 we show on the unofficial clock, a little bit over the record. Check that, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit over the record.
13, 14, boys.
A little bit over his time from the prelims too.
This should be a good race, event 27.
The record here in the 13 to 14 boys freestyle set by Bricky in 85 of 24:50. Tony, you want to run down the field?
Okay, in lane number 1, we have Berkeley 2.
I'll start.
Is Berkeley. I can keep going. 3, Hazelwood. Number 4, Bellefonte Neighbors. Number 5 is Ferguson. Number 6, Berkeley. And number 7 is Dillwood. We have Moore, Buey, Jones, Jacobsmeyer, Ward, Jones, and Durham, lanes 1 through 7. Keep an eye. Jacob Meyer right now is the favorite, but keep an eye on Ward because he's just not that far off. Jacobs Meyer 25-16, Ward 25-31. It shapes up to be a pretty good race.
Timmy Ward is a triathlon athlete.
You were talking to him before the meet started overall. Was he one of your students?
I taught him how to swim.
So now we're starting to find out about you a little bit. You're also a swim instructor. We're underway here.
Ward in the white swim cap, swimming third from the top of the pool.
Come on, Tim. Come on, Tim.
And we didn't hear B say, come on, Tim. We're going to keep going. Jacobsmeyer is a favorite, but Tim Ward has an outside chance to take this thing.
They're head-to-head right now. This is going to be impossible to call from this angle.
Jacobs.
Well, it's
I won't
too
call
close.
it.
I'm going to go with lane 5. I'm going to say
I'm not going to
Ward.
call it. I'm not going to call it.
24:78 is the time that I show, which would be a new meet record. We'll have to wait for the official result on that.
I think Tim Ward won that. As we head for event number 26, 13 to 14, girls freestyle. And we have Geiger from Berkeley in lane 1, King from Ferguson lane 2, Leibbarger from Bellefonte Neighbors 3, Ennis from Ferguson lane number 4, the favorite Osborne from Berkeley 5, Cadell from Hazelwood 6, and Borcherding from Berkeley number 7.
Record 26:91, set last year by Sattler.
And the favorite Ennis is out in front. That's not very surprising to you, is it, B?
No. Every once in a while, Tony, there's a swimmer that comes along that swims like it's supposed to be done. And watch Spring, and she just does it right.
And again, I showed 26:16 on the time, which again is very comfortably under the record set a year ago. Now we've got 15 to 18 freestyle.
We thought that event 25, the 13-14 boys freestyle was close. Watch 27.
We're back underway. Tell you what, they keep these things going, don't they?
Thompson, Berry, Bricky and Bricky in lanes 3 and 4, Chapman, Woods, and Rhodes in that order.
And I'm going to let you call this, Ron.
Favorite here is Bricky, but keep an eye also
Dan, I'm sorry.
on his brother in Chapman has an outside chance from Berkeley as well.
I have no call on that.
6.
Yeah, but
Well, let's set the field for the event number 28, 15 to 18 girls freestyle. Oh boy, first name was Pollack from Ferguson in lane 1, Lawrence in lane 2 from Hazelwood, Burrs from Hazelwood lane 3, Sattler in lane 4 from Berkeley, 5 is Craig, 6 Mahan from Bellefonte Neighbors, 7 is Winter from Hazelwood, Craig in lane 5 is from Hazelwood.
There are some people on those starting blocks who have been swimming since they were 5 years old.
Record 26:03, set in 1981. Certainly one of the older records we've looked at. Best time coming in by Sattler, 26:89. She's from Berkeley. Swimming in lane 4 with the blue swim cap. Just leaning over there in the sort of the middle of the field.
Sattler's a veteran. She's been this way before.
They're dead even across from top to bottom going into the turn. Turns will make a difference, I have to believe.
It is a proven conference record with a time of 54:81. Congratulations, Jeff.
So it looks as though Kim Sattler has an outside chance of winning. That was close because if you look,
Looking up at lane 6, I was looking also at Mahan as well. I have a time of 26.97.
They're fast times tonight.
Are there times when the pool is faster than others? What creates that?
If I knew the answer to that, I could retire. Because I could just make sure all the pools were that way.
Timers relocating to deep into the pool for event 29.
A new meet record in event number 15. Jeff Cummings from Berkeley swimming in the intermediate medley. 54.81 his record swimming for Berkeley. That's a new meet record for Jeff Cummings. What's that, 3 records so far this evening now?
Well, the IM, he broke his own record that he set on Saturday, so technically it's 2, but he really has 3.
Well, why quibble over something like that? Want to remind you, if you want to take a look at this, again, the playback time, Saturday, August 5th, 11 a.m., they're going to show you the preliminaries and the finals. And on Saturday, August 12th, a week from then, you'll see the finals at 1 p.m. on Scan 29A on your American cable, well, St. Louis Cable Access Network.
Event number 30, 7 to 8 girls breaststroke. In lane 1, King from Bellefontaine Neighbor. Lane 2, Kinney from Ferguson. Check that, I'm ahead of myself by 1 event. We're on the boys breaststroke. Lane 1, Panagnos from Bellefontaine Neighbors. 2, Jacobsmeyer from Bellefontaine Neighbors. 3, Craig from Hazelwood. 4, Carusa from Berkeley. 5, Quigley from Delwood. 6, Darnell from Ferguson. 7, Pilla from Delwood.
Caruso appears to be the big favorite from Berkeley here in lane number 4.
This is a difficult stroke to learn. It's very different coordination-wise. And it's very hard to get the arms going right and the legs going right. And during the summer, many of the swimmers are disqualified because they're not doing it correctly. And that's the part of the coaches and the judges, just to make sure by the time they get to conference, they're doing it correctly.
What about the legs on the stroke? What's the kick that's allowable with the breaststroke?
I was afraid you were going to ask me that because they've done some changing in the last year. And I tell you, Dan, I'm really not up. But the legs cannot break the surface, for one thing.
You see some of the crowd milling around, and there's quite a few people here inside the pool grounds and outside in the park as well, getting the view. And I guess you can get a pretty good seat from sitting up around the park at the top of the pool area.
I've never sat out there.
I see people with lawn chairs and everything, just relaxing and having blankets and all, a picnic type atmosphere.
And biting their fingernails until their kids start to swim.
Lane 4 right now, Caruso out ahead. There you see him swimming under the yellow pendant.
Looks like a pretty good stroke. They must touch the wall with both hands.
21:06 the time we show on that. The record 2016, so not a bad swim.
Event 30, 7-8 girls, breaststroke, each swimmer 1 lap of the pool.
Quickly, the girls are up. And I started to give their names earlier. King in 1, Kinney in 2, Kainz in 3, Barry in 4, Dragovich in 5, 6 is Darnell, and 7 is Thielmeyer. And who won, Tony?
The favorite, thanks a lot, Dan. The favorite appears to be Barry from Berkeley.
Again, it's lane 4. I keep pointing out of the yellow pendant and trying to give it identifying. It is lane 4. That is Barry. And they blow the whistle, and on to the blocks go the boys in the 9 to 10 breaststroke.
We have a hot contest here in event number 31. We have Holtgreave from Bellefontaine Neighbors, the favorite, but look at that. Hall in number 3 and Krause in number 5 for Berkeley. Again, 3, 4, and 5. Keep your eye on. It's going to be a really hot contest.
Can't tell from that angle.
Again, this was supposed to be the race with the fiercest competition overall.
But again, I think it was lane 4 Holtgreave with the win.
So Bellefontaine Neighbors comes away again with the victory. And we're looking, Berkeley has won the most, but it's just fun to me to see the Hazelwoods and the Bellefontaines come on, people with the remote remotest chance of winning this thing, and they're coming on pretty good.
How about the lineup for event number 32? Tony, can you get the names in?
Okay, you got it. We have, oh my goodness, Walherm Feckel from Ferguson, Baker Delwood, Kelly Hazelwood, Mulder Berkeley, Becky Berkeley, Murphy from Berkeley, and Oliver from Delwood. The favorite is Mulder from Berkeley.
And you're hoping Walherm Feckel doesn't win.
Very good, Dan.
Boy, oh boy. Dan, I gotta watch these things to see if I can get one on you. Boy, that really took me out there.
Coming up at event 33, the boys 11 to 12 breaststroke. Krause in 1, Johnson in 2, Frieda in 3, Sneed in 4, Kientz in 5, Matheny in 6, and White in 7.
And the timers do have to go back to the other end of the pool because it's now 2 laps.
And in this event, a pretty big discrepancy on the preliminary times with Sneed 38.63 coming in. A good second and a half difference between Sneed and the next best time submitted, that by Kientz in lane 5.
The Sneeds are a family who have been swimming for years. In fact, Martha Sneed is now coaching over at Bellefontaine. Sarah Sneed coaches here, and they still have some swimming.
As we have a moment here while they are changing that, moving the timers, this is identified as the North County. What about area wide? When do these, if ever, do the swimmers in these age groups come together area wide?
As far as I know, unless the powers to be in the swim league, they never do, Dan.
Is that a liability?
I think so. I think that some of our USS swimmers that swim in this league should compete against some of the other swimmers in West County and South County.
Which leads to a natural question. Is there an area in the county where the better swimmers are? Is that predictable? I know I realize you're affiliated with the North County League, but you also are appreciative of good swimming.
It used to be that West County had the stronger swimmers, and I think it still does. They had the facilities, for one thing.
Lane 4 in the yellow cap, Sneed.
Good. Okay, Andy.
Andy Sneed from Ferguson, the winner.